All right, hold your horses because we have to talk about this fixture or part of the fixture that's just been released because, oh my God. So we know that the fixture drops on the 14th of this month. And we also know that everything starts getting leaked, right? We saw opening round, we saw gather round, well, they were officially announced, but then there's like little bits and pieces that are getting linked. We know that we play Port Adelaide in round one, which will be Dan Houston's return game. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a second, you know, and all these sort of leaks. But we have got the first, I hate this, we've got the first 7 rounds of the footy, especially our games, but technically it's the first 8 weeks because round 0 is not counted as a round, it's counted as a week. So it's 7 rounds, but 8 weeks. I love that the AFL has done this. In a previous video, we talked about how we're in the middle tier bracket. And that middle tier bracket would see us playing double ops of 3 teams, which would include one of the Doggies, Carlton, Essendon, Fremantle, or Saints. And we know that it's most likely going to be, obviously, Essendon and Carlton, and then it'll be one of the other teams. But what? Okay, so I like to sort of keep level-headed when I do these videos and be very pragmatic and, you know, sort of devil's advocate. But I've kind of got to go in here because in the first 8 weeks, we verse 6 finalists. We get a really hard run-in to start the season. And that's not just me making excuses. That is me saying that this is a hard run-in. And look, if we're fit and firing, we probably win most of these games, and we'll do a prediction later on in the video. But this is how our first 8 weeks is going to play out. Now, we get the Giants away at Engie Stadium. So that's 5 days after a Green Day concert. Then we get Port Adelaide at the MCG. That'll be Dan Houston's return game from his 5-game suspension. So he plays against his old mob straight away, which is incredible. That's going to be good. That's going to be Saturday night at the MCG under lights. Perfect. Then we get the Western Bulldogs at the MCG for their 100-year centenary anniversary. That'll be our away game. The Western Bulldogs requested us because we're such a big club. The last time we played the Bulldogs at the G was round 1, 2021, and I'm pretty sure that was COVID affected because it's saying that there's only 46,000, so it would have been COVID affected in March 2021. So we get the Bulldogs at the MCG, obviously their home game, and then we have a bye. So in round 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3. Round 3, week 4 is our first bye, which is nice. That's pretty good. It's an improvement on last year. And then we play Carlton on a Thursday night. We play Carlton on a Thursday night. And I get it. You know, they're going to do 23 Thursday night games or whatever it is. And it's going to be, like, I love Thursday night football. I don't like when my team plays in Thursday night football, but I don't mind the Thursday night football. But you'd think a Carlton-Collingwood game would mean a Friday night or a Saturday night. Thursday night doesn't sit right with me for some reason. For this game, like if we had to play Gold Coast on a Thursday night, sure, right? But I guess it's a marquee time slot now, and they're trying to bring this up, so that's why we get Carlton on a Thursday night. Then we go over for gather round to Adelaide Oval, take on the Swans. Then from Adelaide Oval, we fly up to the Gabba to take on reigning premiers Brisbane. Then we fly down back to the MCG for Anzac Day. Now, of those 7 teams, 6 of them are finalists. We play 6 finalists straight up. Oh, well, that's it. Giants, Port. So, you know, Port got into that prelim. The Giants got into that prelim. Western Bulldogs, then the bye, obviously. Then Carlton, then Sydney, then Brisbane, and then Essendon didn't make finals. So we have an not incredibly hard, but it's a difficult start to the season. We finished 9th. Reading that, how we line up, you would think that we finished top 4 and we missed out on a grand final, or we finished in the top 6 and we got done in you know, we lost an elimination, or we won our first final and lost the second final, because that is, I'm not really happy about that. I'm not really happy about that. And what I hate is that clubs, because we're the biggest club in the land, clubs like to clubs like to go, like the Bulldogs. Oh, we really want to play Collingwood. We want a home game at the MCG. We want to play Collingwood because we want 90,000 there because it's going to get us tickets. St Kilda did it to us last year. Multiple clubs have done it all throughout. This is a really hard draw to start with. It's going to be interesting to see, does it sort of work itself out throughout the rest of the season? Does a hard start mean we get a soft end of the season, kind of like what Carlton did last season? Do we get, Richmond twice? Do we get West Coast twice? Do we get the Roos twice? Is there something that's going to compensate for such an insanely hard? I keep saying insanely hard. I don't think it's insanely hard. I just think it's just a difficult draw. And I understand people are going to, opposition supporters, if they're watching this, will rip into me for saying this because Collingwood just don't travel just in general. But I don't like going from, the MCG to gather round and then up from Adelaide up to Brisbane and then back down. So we're away and away 2 weeks in a row and then down to the MCG. So that's going to be difficult as well. Didn't really work out well for us last season. You got to remember we went 3 losses in our first 3 games last season against the Giants, Sydney, and St Kilda. So now we start the season off Giants, Port Adelaide, and the Western Bulldogs, and all of these teams here, maybe bar, I don't know what the Giants are going to be like next season, but pretty much all these teams are going to be good next year, and I know every team's going to be good, and we're going to be firing as well. And it'll be a different story once we see the best 23 that comes out and once we're getting into the gear. But just upon reading that, 6 finalists in the first 7 rounds, I feel anyway, is absolutely cooked. It's absolutely cooked. And I know, the fixture is the fixture, right? But I think we've just got the raw end of a deal. I'd love to see everyone else's fixture when it comes out on the 14th. And when it does come out, we'll go through our games one by one. So it'll be a pretty big video. But I reckon we're going to have the hardest, or one of the hardest, first chunk of games. So I'm pretty sure they're going to announce half the season because there'll be a floating fixture. So I reckon we'll have the hardest half season, or one of the hardest anyway, because that start of the season is absolutely cooked. Now, my prediction for how we're going to go these first 8 weeks. And I know I said it was cooked and stuff, but I think if you can go 5-2, I'd even take 4-3. But 5-2, I think, is where we need to aim for. The 2 losses I'm probably thinking of would be Brisbane at the Gabba, because, we've won once there in God knows how long. And Essendon always come up for Anzac Day. The Blues could be, really good. We probably could drop the Blues game. But I think it doesn't matter what we drop. I think 5-2 is the barometer I want to set for us. They're the expectations that I want to set for us. You go 7-0, awesome. You go 6-1, amazing. 5-2, I'd even take, like I just said, 4-3 would just be just on the precipice. Anything lower than that, and you're cooked. Don't start the season 0-3 again, because then you're even more cooked. But I would take 5-2. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think of this first 8 weeks? What do you grade it? I graded a D. A D minus, not even a D plus, a D minus. Let me know your thoughts down below. What are your predictions for the first 8 weeks? But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.